Sometimes we all make idiotic mistakes.
And a lot of times you do.
So I didn't know, I even Googled a picture of this rear end because I got this rear end already taken off. We got it flipped the wrong way. So like this, it's gonna run in reverse. Now, I think it's 88 through 96 Club Car DS's, the engine spin counterclockwise, just like a Predator. So you can basically, the diff would have been flipped and the engine would have been flipped. So the pulley's on the opposite side than it normally is. On 97 and later Club Car, the engine spun clockwise. So if you was to put a Predator on it, you'd be running in reverse, kind of like we was with the Mule. So what we're hoping we can do is flip the diff and it bolt right back up and flip the engine and everything line back up. So do you think it'll work? Hopefully.
We're gonna see.
Because worst case scenario, worst case Ontario, we're gonna have to cut that engine plate off and move it somewhere. But I don't think so, because we have play in our pulley. We can move it a 1/4 of an inch inside to the block and move it up to a 1/2 inch more away from it. So let's pull this puppy off. Go ahead. With the last bolt?
Nope, one more.
Oh my God. Gonna happen. Can you slide that belt off? Or am I gonna have to pick up?
Pick it up. Yeah, that looks tight. Huh?
Ooh.
Yeah, come on.
Slide it off the rear pulley.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that, dude.
Oh, we're gonna take that rear pulley off. You can't slide through there. So that's a 1/2 inch. Let me grab it.
That's strong. Jeepers, mister.
You're really strong.
You can throw really far.
I can throw a football clear over those mountains in my prime.
Well, you ain't in your prime. That was decades ago.
So you got this pulley is so close to that diff, you have to pull it to get the belt on and off. Easy. Easy. Okay, you don't have to be able to do.
Dang. You work out?
All done. Alright, so we got the engine pulled off the swing arm. We got the diff flipped, it bolted right back in place. We got to open up 2 holes on these flanges to make all the bolts in, but we got 3 on each side, it's plenty. I spent a little time this morning, cut the engine plate off. We got it cleaned up, got the engine bolted to it, so in a minute we'll set and mock that up. But first, we got our wheel adapters and spacers. It goes from 4 on 4, which is golf cart, to 4 on 137, which is these. So a back of a 150 cart is 4 on 137, and a Mule is the same front and back. So I'm gonna pull off the wheels. This will also give us our stance back.
Stance.
No.
Same code bitch?
I don't think so. I've tried it. Mine can get through.
Nope, it ain't. I just figured it out all by my skill. What?
He's a winner. So we're gonna probably have to cut off a little bit of this front because of the pivot point. We don't want to be too close to it.
Good.
Right. What are you gonna be for Halloween?
A 30-year-old.
You're a dad now, you have to dress up for Halloween.
Well, ooh, I had a good joke, but it's rude. To who? You.
Is it not my kid?
No, it was a good joke on your kid. But I'll be classy and not say it.
What?
Seeing who her parents are, she don't even have to dress up to look like a freak.
Well, you're already a monster!
Why'd you gotta go there?
I hope you need knee reconstruction surgery.
Well, I need build reconstruction surgery after you quit fiddle-faddling around here.
Fiddle what?
Faddling?
I don't know what a faddle is.
Fiddle-faddle. Caramel popcorn. Buy the box. Fiddle-faddle.
Dang, that's the good stuff. Yeah,
That's the toffee ones, but
shut up. Alright, here we go.
we're gonna give apples out. Kids come to our house. iPhones.
Oh,
Let go.
can't have money.
Hey, we don't even have a house, so.
Yeah, we don't own a house too. Alright, so that's as far back
As you can go.
as possible. It's lined up. Alright.
Pretty close. I think it needs to go more towards you.
So, one more time, gotta pull it off, open up the hose.
And if we did that, we could technically probably still use that belt. Just slide it up another inch? You don't think so?
No, I mean, because that's way too much deflection still, and that's touching the thing up here. So that's what we'll have to do. So we'll get some stuff cut, fitted. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done, maybe. All right, so we have the Duromax 713cc finally mounted. We flipped that diff around because I was an idiot and thought it went on the opposite side, but we got it on. We have our belt. What's cool is this actually uses an easy go belt, like for length. So you want 1 inch of deflection on your belt. So you can push that belt down 1 inch. That's how tight you need it. 780 CVT from Go Power Sports with the driven, the inboard driven. And we got the biggest driven they make. So that's why we're so close to this, but this is going to give us even more low end torque. Because of the 8-to-1 gearing ratio, this will make it a little lower than that. So it's going to be the perfect combination. We're waiting on the intake from Performance 670 to slap on a 34mm Mikuni. Links to all this stuff is in the description. This belt is only 20 bucks also, by the way. And the fact that it's easy go is why it's so cheap. They're so mass produced. So we can buy an extra belt for $20 to keep on this vehicle, but I doubt we'll ever wear that belt out. So now I just got to roll this up, and it's got a ball joint up here. We slide it in from the bottom, put the nut on, and then we can start mocking up shocks, build our panhard bar. Then the only thing left to do is brakes, rear brakes. So let's do this. This is not going to be fun by myself. Gonna line her up. So we are, I think we're gonna have to cut this bar out. I think it'll be okay because this is pretty beefy. You have this whole thing helping it. So to let the engine go up and down, we will have to remove that. Once we tighten this down, this has got a taper to it, and so does this, so it wedges itself in there. Then we have this here, so when we want to change the oil, we can just zip tie this over here somewhere, and it's easier to change oil. Links to all this stuff's in the description. It is super handy having all these. And we took the cooler off because we don't want hot air blown in here. So I'm actually going to block these vents off and then put a cooler back there somewhere, you know, out of harm's way, but where it isn't blowing heat on your legs. So now I'm going to put a washer under this, and then I'm going to hammer down this castle nut. Okay, so Moto Mule made us these tabs. They're normally got these ears on them, so when you set them, like these are for 1.5 inch tube. When you set them, you got a good weld spot all the way around. But the only problem is all Chinese shocks are like 10mm bolts. So these are 1/2 inch for like real shocks, like FO8s and stuff. Fox, whatever, uses 1/2 inch bolts. So what I'm gonna do is lay it on this aluminum because steel won't, you know, adhere. You can see where we did this before. That's the only reason I keep this block. I can fill that up with weld and grind it smooth and re-drill. Instead of cutting a piece of, it's faster just to do this. Gripe about it in the comment section below. So we're gonna fill this up with some weld. Boom. Done. So, whoop it. That's pretty smooth. Next. So we got to do 4 of these to get us some good tabs made. I'm going to go ahead and weld this side as well, just to get any, you know, those little pits gone. But if you have a thick piece of aluminum, it's good to use it for stuff like this. Filling up holes, baby. I'm using one of the original tabs with a center punch from you boys at Harbor Freight. Get it, you know, pretty close, closer than the old eyeball. Close enough. So now we can drill those out and boom, Bob Uncle. Now, it would be nice if we just had, like Miss Redbeard was saying, smart mouth off camera. If we had just had him make us some with blank holes. No like holes. He can, well, what he could do on the plasma table, this is what one looks like. And he could cut this out and then just blow a hole, you know, like a 1/8 inch, whatever his cutting width is, through right there to give me a guide so I know that's centered. That's what I'll have him do next time. For sure.
This is Grayson's favorite tool in the garage.
So you can tell there's all the wood shavings on it.
He wants to drill everything.
And I bought these drill bits because they was the best drill bits I've ever had. The Canon drill bits. They're what are they? There's some type of coating, cobalt. They are amazing. And then I bought this can because I love my other ones so much. This can don't have the flat spots, so the bits want to slip like crazy. A little bit of blaster multi-mac with our cut glue because it's cheap and effective. Like I should have safety glasses on. And then we got a shop tab. Will that take me like 20 minutes total to weld them, grind them?
Yeah, probably not that long.
Another shout out Benchmark Abrasives because these dang flat discs eat their lunch. It is insane how long these things last, and they eat through metal like butter. How they eat through butter? Like butter. All right, so we went ahead and pulled the swing arm back so I can get to all the welds. We braced up the panhard bar with some 1-inch 11 gauge tubing. There's how the panhard bar is braced up down there. And I couldn't get to all the spots to weld it, so that's what I'm going to do now. Lonnie's going to cut off these stubs. So basically I had these bars running across and that V-twin was going to hit that one. So this was the old snorkel system for the original engine. He's going to cut this off right under this plate. Both of them just give us more clearance, and then we can make the two back together. Oh, I also got to fully weld the shock tabs. Now the suspension on this is stiff because of having a truck bed and stuff. If you hauled 4 or 5 bags of concrete, we want it to be able to handle that. This isn't a sport UTV or nothing. So as long as we get that cut off, I'll get that stuff fully welded. We can make the two back together and finally have a rolling chassis. Okay guys, so don't mind the noise in the background. We're getting drywall done in the office up front, and we got everything we can do right now done on the Mule. We're waiting on the Performance 670 carb mount to slap on the 34mm Mikuni from Go Power Sports. That is by far the best carb to run on these engines. It's a true Mikuni because Go Power Sports is a Mikuni dealer now. But you can see on screen, we did the panhard bar, got it all mounted up, braced it really well. We're gonna cap off those mounts as well so water won't get down in them. And if you notice, we use the eBay remote reservoir type shocks, the nitrogen filled shocks, and those was left over from another project. And then you can see that we did a steel shifter mount. So the original shifter was plastic and it kept flexing, not letting me get a full shift. So I was like, this is stupid. Why would they make it out of plastic? So I built it out of steel. Super strong now, shifts in the gear, so shouldn't have a problem there. We only have to do the exhaust, do the carb. We got to actually lift the bed a few inches because it's gonna, when the engine flexes, it's gonna hit the bed. So we're gonna lift that up, and front bumper, roof rack. We're gonna make it look like an overlanding vehicle. Maybe put a few tools on this back grate, but let us know what you think about the Mule. Make sure to check out the links in the video description. They help us out a ton. Shows our sponsors that our videos are working and keeps us in business. So support your boy and support the companies that is supporting your boy. So thank you guys so much. Make sure to check out those links. Let me know what you think about this old Mule. She's going to be stout. Faux show. Thank you guys. We love you. And God bless.